It's a project of unprecedented scale and ambition, part of Vision 2030. We are redefining urban living.
A 170-kilometer-long city, designed for 9 million people. All essential services are just a 5-minute walk away.
Oxagon is our hub for clean industries. Its next-generation port will be a cornerstone of the new global economy.
Trojena will offer year-round adventure, from winter sports to wellness retreats, attracting visitors from all over the globe. This will be a living lab. AI and robotics will manage everything, from energy to security and transportation. Our city is powered by 100% renewable energy, with 95% of its land preserved for nature. The project promises a more liberal lifestyle and an autonomous judicial system, separate from the rest of the country. But this land is the ancestral home of the Huwaitat tribe. 20,000 members are facing forced displacement. The construction relies on a vast number of migrant workers, a group already vulnerable to exploitation in the region. Dozens have been arrested for peacefully opposing the evictions. 3 men even face death sentences. We worked 16-hour shifts in temperatures reaching 50 degrees Celsius. Many felt like trapped slaves. A linear city is the least efficient shape. The average distance between any 2 people is 57 kilometers.
This is a recurring pattern, the sacrifice of human rights for the sake of state-defined progress.
Critics call this greenwashing. The mirrored exterior is predicted to be a catastrophe for migratory birds.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are plunging into something that honestly sounds like pure science fiction. Saudi Arabia's NEOM city. It's this enormous $500 billion project, the absolute core of their Vision 2030 plan.
It really is spectacular in ambition, and the flagship part, is the line.
Yeah.
Our sources describe it as this, linear city stretching 170 kilometers long, 500 meters high, planned for 9 million people.
9 million. And they're promising this thing called zero-gravity urbanism. So no cars, zero emissions, everything you need within a 5-minute walk. Vertically somehow. Exactly.
Vertical transport. It sounds utopian, almost impossible.
Right, and that's the core tension we're exploring today. We need to look past the glossy brochures, the amazing blueprint, and really examine the ethical side, the human cost of actually building it.
Absolutely, because there's this fascinating or maybe disturbing contrast. They're promising global talent, an autonomous judicial system, separate from standard Saudi law.
To attract investment, presumably.
All right. Right, but then you see how the existing judicial system is being applied to the local people whose land this is being built on. It's quite a difference.
So our mission here is to really dig into that foundation.
Yeah.
And you have to start with the land itself, right? So this wasn't just empty sand.
No, absolutely not. It's the historical homeland of the Huwaitat tribe. We're talking about an estimated 20,000 people, and they've faced and are still facing forced displacement.
The sources we've looked at show that any resistance wasn't just ignored, it was met with, frankly, shocking state violence.
It's a really painful part of the story. There's the case of Abdul Rahim Al-Huwaid. He filmed himself refusing to leave his home, protesting the eviction, and he was shot and killed by security forces.
Killed for refusing to leave his home.
Yes. And it goes further. At least 15 other tribe members have received these incredibly harsh prison sentences. We're talking 15 years, even up to 50 years. And at least 3 are reportedly facing the death penalty.
And the justification for these sentences is what?
This is the really chilling part. Often it's under the kingdom's counterterrorism law, simply for protesting the evictions or speaking out online.
So let me get this straight. Highly paid international executives get a special legal system, while the people who have lived there for generations get hit with counterterrorism charges for trying to protect their homes.
That juxtaposition tells you a lot, doesn't it, about the power dynamics at play.
Okay, if that's the foundation, what about the actual construction, the labor involved? The human cost there seems, the numbers are hard to believe.
They are deeply disturbing. Reports suggest that across all the Vision 2030 projects, not just NEOM, since 2017, the toll on foreign workers might be over 21,000 deaths, and maybe another 100,000 workers listed as missing.
21,000 deaths. How are these even being recorded officially? This is where it gets really concerning, right?
Exactly. The sources point to what looks like a systemic cover-up. Somewhere between 70 and 80% of these migrant worker deaths are officially logged as natural causes.
Natural causes.
Even in documented cases where workers collapsed after grueling 16-hour shifts, sometimes in temperatures hitting 50 degrees Celsius, which is about 122 Fahrenheit. Calling that natural causes effectively erases any responsibility for the working conditions.
It paints a picture of just utter disregard. And there are reports supporting that attitude from the top, aren't there?
Yes, there's an account of a former NEOM executive who was apparently recorded dismissing worker deaths. He used racist language and basically said, "You can't train for stupidity." It points to this really toxic, dehumanizing culture behind the whole project.
Dehumanizing. And that maybe even extends to the design itself.
Yeah.
Because planning experts have serious doubts about this whole linear city concept.
They do. Many argue that mathematically a long, thin line is actually the least efficient possible shape for a city.
Wait, least efficient? But the whole point is supposed to be efficiency, walkability. How does that work?
Well, think about it. While your immediate needs might be close by vertically if you want to visit someone at the other end or even halfway down, the average distance between any two random people in the line is calculated to be around 57 kilometers. It maximizes travel distance along its length, which could actually hinder social connection, not help it.
So it's more about the visual statement, the monument, than practical urban living.
It seems that way. Which leads us right into the environmental claims, the greenwashing paradox.
Right. They claim it's 100% sustainable, running on renewable energy. But then you have the building itself, this giant mirrored structure.
Exactly. Ecologists are warning that the massive mirrored facade of the line could be an absolute catastrophe for migratory birds. Millions use that Red Sea flight path every year. It could become a death trap.
170-kilometer bird killer.
Potentially, yes. And the biggest contradiction, how is this multi-trillion-dollar green utopia being funded?
By oil money.
Precisely. It's financed by Saudi Arabia, a country whose official plan is to increase its fossil fuel production significantly through the next decade. They're using oil wealth to build a green city while doubling down on the very thing causing the climate crisis it claims to solve.
So when you pull back this whole NEOM project, it starts to look like part of a much older pattern, doesn't it?
Definitely. We've seen these kinds of mega projects before. Think of China's Three Gorges Dam, over 1 million people displaced. Or even U.S. urban renewal projects in the 20th century, which often destroyed minority communities in the name of progress.
State-defined progress rolling over human rights in existing communities.
It's a recurring theme. And that brings us to the future aspect, the smart city element. All the AI and surveillance planned for NEOM to manage life there.
You have to wonder if that technology is just a continuation, a high-tech version of the same state power that was used to forcibly remove the Huwaitat tribe.
It's a critical question. Is that perfectly managed, automated lifestyle worth living under that kind of pervasive monitoring and control, especially given the project's origins?
Which leaves a pretty stark final thought for you, the listener.
Can a city literally founded on the violent displacement of its original inhabitants, built with labor practices that lead to thousands of unreported deaths, and justified using things like counterterrorism laws against dissent? Can that ever genuinely be a model for a better future? Or is it just the latest, most spectacular example of authoritarian power masking itself in utopian dreams?